Hey friends, it's me, Micah. This is the Homestead bandwagon, and this is a Kioti tractor, the Kioti CS, hold on here, 2530. Now, I've done a video with this thing already where we kind of just walk through the features of it. I could certainly put a link to that in the description of this video, but I always find a lot of these review videos don't involve any real world use. So I brought this thing to the house. We're going to do just some chores with this thing. Just test it out here. We're going to do some loader work today and just see how this thing does. My initial concern with it is it's going to be top heavy and kind of tipsy. There's some hills around here, some bumps, some holes in the ground. I'm kind of concerned that this thing's going to feel really unstable, but let's just get into it. I'm going to take this thing out, go operate it, and see what I think. Just first impressions with this Kioti CS series tractor. There's the seat belt, easy to find. So I'd already done a video kind of reviewing all the features and functions on this thing, and I don't think we'll talk about that too much here. But I just want to talk about how this thing feels. This is, as far as I know, it's a little toasty in here. Hold on. It's like 60 degrees outside. It's always 60 degrees outside in Western Washington. And I am feeling a little toasty from the heater on this thing. This heater cranks. Anyway, I've got some concerns on this machine that I guess I wanted to try it out before I sold it to somebody, because I work at a Kioti dealer. I sell these things. And one of the concerns was it feels kind of tipsy. See, this is a world first. This is the first tractor in its size with a full cab that has heat and AC. It's actually a pretty big deal. They designed a whole new engine for this thing because they needed the torque, or I don't know, they needed something so the AC wouldn't rob all the power from this thing. I do notice right off the bat, really good visibility. My dog is following me all over the place. I don't know if you can see her. She really wants to get in here with me. She likes to go on truck rides. Anyway, the visibility is incredible. I can see everything all around me. It doesn't right off the bat feel quite as tipsy as I thought it would. You know, it is a little top heavy. You can feel the top kind of rocking back and forth, but it's not out of this world scary. You can certainly tell it's heavy. You know, I've got to run around basically in low range in this thing. Running in high range and trying to go up any hills, I've already tried once. It just doesn't work. So we've got to be in low range. Yeah, I can definitely feel every bump though, I tell you that much. If I had a hilly property, which I kind of do, I don't know if I would do this thing. You got to be careful. You got to go straight up and straight down hills. Yeah, right now I'm in low range going up a moderately steep hill. We got to get these RPMs up a bit. Okay, now we're doing good. Yeah, see, I really feel this thing rocking, going up a hill and then in a chuck hole. The whole thing moves on you. It's probably not real apparent on the camera, but look out, baby. You can certainly feel every bump. I think I'd get used to it. I'm just used to having a really big tractor is what's going on. That kind of eats up all the bumps. I'm not going very fast right now. I'm going a couple miles an hour. I'm just in low range. I do like that, man, it is really easy to get into everywhere, which is where this tractor shines. It's so stinking small. If you got about a 4-foot wide space to fit through, you could fit through. So if we got to fit through gates or whatever, this thing's a stinking winner. If I wanted to go into where'd the dog go? There she is. If I wanted to go into the chicken yard with this thing, I could. I could almost fit in our greenhouse, which is kind of neat. Fitting in a barn would be easy. Okay, I got a hill I'm going to go down here right now. You're going to see my real reaction going down a hill. Ooh, jeez Louise. This thing, it rocks all over the place. Again, I think I'd get used to it. I'm just used to a much bigger tractor that kind of eats up all that movement. But does make my butt pucker a little bit. How much fuel do I have? I gotta turn this heat down again. Oh man, it heats up in here good. Okay, one thing that kind of bugs me right off the bat, and I haven't used the loader much at all yet, is where the loader control is. There's a lever for raising and lowering the 3-point arms right below it. You can see this. So when you're using the loader, you're hitting this arm. The plastic's still on the seat for this thing, but I'm gonna have to, there we go. I'm gonna have to use this armrest and kind of snake my arm around this lever. I'm sure you can see that. Listen, I don't love that, okay? These are compact tractors doing compact things in a compact space, which I totally get, but it's just a little thing that bothers me. I feel like they could have put this lever somewhere else. Man, it is so hot in here. This heat works really good. I'm actually have to turn on the AC right now to cool me off. I think I could vent the rear window actually. Let's do that. There we go. I gotta remember that's up so I don't accidentally break the glass. Anyways, what was I saying? Compact tractor, it still feels pretty big. I'm not bumping my head going over bumps or anything. The buttons are easy to find, the controls are easy to get to. I know where everything is, but just the location of this 3-point lift lever kind of sticks in my craw. I like where the loader control is actually. It's pretty nice. Touch screen, which we'll show you in a sec. Really easy to get to. There's a rear camera on this thing. You can probably see me playing with it. That is now blocked by the glass. There we go. I'll close that glass. That's really nice. You can just run around with this rear camera on and see whatever implement you have on the back. So I really like that about this tractor. So the overall noise level in this thing isn't bad. You can definitely hear a little bit of an echo in here. Well, maybe you can't, but I can. But not much. That's to be expected when you're surrounded by glass. Got some little bumpies we're driving around here. I can certainly hear everything that's going on around me. I feel like the overall sound level's lower. Now, if I was trying to have a phone conversation in here, it would definitely come through on the phone. And I guess I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video to see how much of the overall noise is. I should probably keep one of my hands on the wheel here. How much of the overall noise is coming through the microphone, because I really don't know. Right now I have the mic right at my hat next to my ear, so I'm hoping that kind of translates to overall sound levels. Have I mentioned that this gets nice and toasty in here? I'm gonna have to take this hoodie off, I swear. Yeah, sound level, not terrible. I'm about to drive around a really bumpy area of the property here. About to drive around our drain field. And I think this might be one of those machines that's pretty good in a situation like that, where you got some sensitive areas that you're driving in. It doesn't weigh all that much. Well, it weighs quite a bit, but it's lighter than a 3/4 ton truck, I'd bet. So I don't know, would it do better in sensitive areas like drain fields? Better than doing a full-size tractor, I'm sure. We're just gonna do a good old-fashioned gardening task here. We're gonna grab some plants and dahlias and put them in the bucket and carry them up the hill. Because I just saw my wife struggling with pulling a cart, and I said, why are you doing that? We've got the tractor, let's use the tractor. Now again, people have said that getting on and off the tractor, let's turn the RPMs down here. And I just killed the engine because I didn't put it in neutral. I will never remember to do that. Anyway, people say it's a big pain in the neck if you're getting on and off your tractor. If you have a cab, I don't see why. Just open the door and get out. Anyway. All right, let's load this stuff up. Okay, why were you going uphill with that cart?
Because it was empty, so it's not filling.
I'm coming up. I just got in trouble because I was grabbing the stuff from down here, thinking I was taking it up there, but I'm actually got to get it from up there and bring it down here. Oopsie poo. Okay, neutral to start, brake. Let's try running the rail heater real quick. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you definitely want to cycle on your glow plug heater. Even if you've been running around getting this thing warm, it doesn't want to turn off without me cycling that glow plug. So, lesson learned. Let's get on the seatbelt here. It's going to be a bumpy ride going up the hill. Make sure the dog gets out of the way. I can see her on the camera. She's right behind me in my blind spot. And she doesn't care that I'm honking the... Oh, there she goes. She's moving away. I really like this this camera right here. Yeah, I really told you, it's a little bumpy. I really do like being able to fit into tight spaces. We've been talking for a while about getting a baby tractor, and oh man, it's not in the budget, okay? It's not in the budget right now. But I know they're gonna come out with some kind of 0% program or something. You definitely hear the hydros making noise and the hydrostatic steering making noise and stuff like that. But wait, gotta put it in neutral. There's a light that tells me it's in neutral. We're good. I've killed it 3 times not putting it in neutral. This one. Anything else? Oh, we got lots more.
Put this one next to you inside or something.
Let's put it right here. I could do 2 trips. Alright, now we're going to travel downhill with the bucket full of plants and hope we don't spill them everywhere and get me in trouble. Okay, hold on. Get it into low gear. RPM's up this time. I gotta remember to keep these RPMs up. We want to keep the loader low. This is a small tractor that can get tipsy. We don't want to have the loader up. We want to have it low. I like to keep it kind of below the hood, so it's below the center of gravity in my mind. Okay, let's see if I can control this thing and not spill these flowers everywhere. Oh boy, look out. Going downhill. Careful. I'm getting more used to this thing feeling kind of topsy-tiltsy. I'm getting more used to it. I try to avoid brushing the apple tree. Those ears do stick out a little ways. Oh boy. I'm not going to go 4-wheeling in this thing. Boy, I really like this rear view camera. Just being able to keep track of where the dog is. You know, if you had kids or nephews or nieces or grandkids or whatever, just being able to keep track of where everybody is. Because they always want to follow the tractor. That's part of the fun. Running after the tractor, you know? And that's how accidents happen. I should probably look forward instead of looking back at the camera. Hi, babe. So I'm in here all nice and cozy. She's outside in the rain. not my fault that I'm the person who's the YouTubist doing tractor reviews. Yeah, this thing definitely likes being run above 2,500 RPMs. The steering feels good. I'm not getting a lot of whine out of the steering. Now I'm only running it in 2-wheel drive right now, so we'll try some 4-wheel in a little bit. Let's unload these plants here. Should I just dump them? That wouldn't get me in any trouble, would it? All right, let's try neutral, park. RPM's down, for goodness sakes.
I don't understand how your brain works.
I don't understand how my brain works either.
You need to get a shot from outside of you in the tractor driving it because you look comically large.
I did. I had it on the hood.
No, but a little farther away. You look comically large in this tiny tractor.
So like a gorilla riding one of those tricycles. Yeah. Here, hold this. So great camera work going on right now. Ow! Come on. Okay, yep, come on up. You gonna try to get in? Yep, okay. You gonna try to get out? Not quite enough room for me and the dog in here. Close. Very close. I don't look that big in here, do I? Low range, RPM's up, park and brake off. There we go. I've got all of the controls figured out. I can actually bring this steering wheel in towards me. It's a little far away. All right. Gonna put the dog away. Now we're gonna put the dog away, and now we're gonna do some chores with the loader. Look at how nice this fits between all of our garden rows, though. Somebody should weed out here. It's not gonna be me. It's not my job. Let's see if I can turn really tight into this other garden. Wow. This actually has really, 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 really tight steering. Working between these rows is surprisingly easy. Oh, we got some cabbage coming up. Some strawberries. I just ran one over. Yep, we're doing good. Yeah, this is a very tight turning radius. I am like shocked. Oh, where's the dog? Oh boy, I just hit a T-post. I think I might have just run this thing out of diesel. This cap does not have a tether, so remember that I put it right there. Whoops. In my defense, the light wasn't blinking. All right, let's see if we get lucky here. What did I do with the keys? Oh, they're in my pocket. Why would I ever put a set of keys in my pocket? Let's see if we get lucky. That had me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I got a little spot down here where I've been making some dirt. Yeah, kind of like a compost pile. I'm gonna go dig some of that dirt out of the ground real quick. I'm gonna put this thing into 4-wheel drive. That's, where is that? That's a lever down here, there we go. 4-wheel drive engaged. All right, we're gonna try to grab some soil here. Just dump out the water from the bucket first. I'm going to set up another camera out here just so we can really see how all this works. Park and brake, neutral. RPM's down just because. All right. This is the really glamorous side of YouTube nobody ever shows you. The part where you go up and set up a shot. I don't even do a good job of it. Some guys will like do these really nice cinematic shots where they're walking in the frame and out of the frame and giving you perspective. I don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. Okay, let's just try to subsoil a little bit. This is like a basic task. The tractors aren't really meant to, but low range, RPM's up. Tractors aren't really made for digging much with their loader, but you can dig a little. Just gotta be gentle. This is probably pretty hard ground. Make sure nobody's behind me. Now let's try this again. Let's get in this dirt and dig. I need to put some dirt from this compost. Whoops. All right, front wheel's off the ground, so we got a good start. I'm gonna go put some of this out in the garden. This is just some good dirt for the garden because we don't have much topsoil out there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's completely made out of clay. Yeah, let's get out of here. You definitely feel it using more oomph with the four-wheel drive. Okay, now again, YouTuber secret. I gotta go retrieve that camera. See, I did the thing where you drive out of the frame. Now I gotta go grab the camera. Otherwise I don't have a camera with me. That might be a good picture for the thumbnail. Let's see. Get a real good picture here. Yeah, that looks like something. People like to see that. Looks like a real tractor. Okay, let's go figure out where to dump this dirt. Again, you want to keep this loader low to the ground. Something I am noticing on this thing is when you have your loader, well, my turn signals are on. When you got this loader pretty low to the ground, I don't know that the bucket, let's turn these RPMs up, that the bucket is tipped down that far. I don't know, I guess it's fine. Let's just have the loader as low as possible because we're going to be driving over hills and peaks and valleys. And I just want to see if I lose any of the dirt in this bucket. Now you want your bucket to be tipped back, of course, when it's full of material. And the geometry of these loaders, the way it works is, you know, if you lift your loader, your bucket will be tipped back farther and you'll lose your load in your face, which you don't necessarily want. But when the loader's down to the ground, which is what you want, so you're not like, you know, flipping your tractor over maybe. A lot of times these buckets will kind of flatten out, then you lose whatever's in your loader, so you're in this kind of catch-22. This one, I am getting, whoop, I should have probably looked, oh God. It just feels a little tipsy. I'm fine, I'm not tipping over. I'm still in four-wheel drive too. What was I saying? Anyway, you get this catch-22 because you want your loader bucket low, but you don't want the stuff falling out. So how do we balance those two things? You know, that is the big question. And I'm just going to dump this. I didn't really have a plan for what to do with this dirt. We're just going to drive by the flowers here and dump this dirt somewhere. I don't know. Let's get out and see what the angle of this bucket is before I dump. Park and brake, neutral. Bring the camera. Open the door. Okay, that's not bad. Right there, that's okay. It'll hold all the dirt in. I'd like it if it was a little bit more tipped back, but it is what it is. Now this right here is the first thing I'd remove if I owned this thing. It'll stay up. You can just wear a pair of sunglasses, so I'd remove this thing, first thing. I wish I could get this. Yeah. it up and around maybe. It's better. Okay. So I had about 20 yards of wood chips dumped here for free. And because I don't like weeding, I just like to dump wood chips all over everything. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, this thing does have kind of like a level indicator up there telling you when your bucket's level. I don't know if we can trust it or not. Alright, big, heaping, steaming pile of wood chips. Can you see that? That's a pretty good pile of wood chips. Let's go dump this pile. I'm going to spill this wood chip pile all over the driveway. I got to shake it out. That's some good wood chips there. Okay, loader's low. Let's go dump these chips somewhere. Oh, gotta go grab the camera though. Throttle up, low range, there we go. Yeah, so driving in the front yard and doing like landscaping tasks, I think that's where this thing would really shine. Alright, we're going to do a really cool shot here. I'm going to dump the wood chips on top of the camera. Yeah! Oh man. That was some pro YouTube and stuff I did right there. Amazing. Now I gotta go grab the pro YouTubing camera. Throttle down, brake on, neutral, out of the cab. I got some schmutz on the camera. Okay. Cab closed. Parking brake off. Let's go grab another load. I want to see how high this thing can dump. We're getting some really good action photography going on here. Parking brake off. Low range. 3,000 RPMs. Let's start scooping. That's a nice big full scoop. Oh, I love it. Steaming, just steaming. It'll take forever to move all this stuff with this little bucket, but whatever, it's not a big deal. Okay, now we gotta pull away. All right, now let's go grab the camera. Okay, let's see if we can dump over the fence on the chicken yard, because we want to have some wood chips in the chicken yard, give them stuff to peck through, kind of keep down the mud. I think the wood chips will just turn into more mud, but I digress. Oh, the rooster always loves when I do stuff like this. Okay, hold on. Get out, set up the camera, neutral, parking brake, RPM's down just for fun. Open the door. Tilt the steering wheel up. Jump out. Okay, so the question once again is, will it dump over a 6-foot high fence? I should probably close the rear window. There we go. All right, let's go find out. Parking brake off, low range, RPM's up. This is where it's really useful to be able to do two functions at once, because you don't want to, oh boy, I'm pulling up the whole fence with the loader. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. That's not good. So you don't want to dump it backwards, you want to dump it forward. Okay, so I can get above the fence, and then when I'm, yeah, that's causing a big mess. Okay, well I can get above the fence, but then once I dump, kind of dumping it on the fence because I already bent the fence, and I'm just causing a mess right now. Oh well, let's fix this fence real quick. I just smash it back down with the loader bucket. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, now we got a fence that's all wackadoo. Holy smokes, hold on here. Park and brake. Neutral, throttle down, that's up. This is over, come on, let's go. No, I don't want to zoom. Okay. It'll give a nice bit of room for a coyote to get under the fence. No big deal. All right, I gotta fix that after I do the other stuff. Okay, 3/4 ton truck. Can we just get over the side of it and dump into it? That's all we want to know. I can definitely get over the side of it, and yeah, I could dump into it. Okay, that's all we need to know. That's great. And this is a 3/4 ton truck. It's not sitting super low to the ground. So if you had a dump trailer with like half sides on it, is that what you call that? Like a low-sided dump trailer, it would work fine. Don't hit the truck. Jeez Louise. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. But yeah, if we just had a load of stuff that we need to dump in the back of the truck, we do get, well, yeah, I can dump into this truck easy. I don't have to be up on top of it either. There's some room here. Okay, I'm maxed out on height. Yeah, I could dump into it. And not completely dump the bucket out all the way, but I could dump into it. I should have, am I in four-wheel drive? I don't remember. There's no indicator on the dash telling you if you're in four-wheel drive, which would be really nice to do. Because sometimes you're not smart enough to figure it out. The ground is so uneven here. I'm trying to find an even spot where I can line up with this loader. Get these RPMs up. 3,000, that's where it likes to be. It is really lumpy and bumpy here too, so I'm trying to like watch what I'm doing. There we go, that's kind of a straight shot. So yeah, if I tried to dump the bucket all the way, I would hit the side of the truck, but I don't have to be right up on top of the truck. See, a lot of times these loaders will get higher lift rating capacity or lift capacity ratings because either they don't lift very high or they're really close to the body of the tractor. It's a way to kind of cheese your ratings. Well, the problem is you can't get up next to something and dump into it. See, if I had this thing dumped all the way, I'd be touching the side of the tractor. Okay, or the side of the truck. But okay, you will dump into the side of a truck if you needed it to. Now I can tell you where this tractor really shines is doing the tasks I was doing with this thing with the loader in the front yard. So this front yard, it's got some tight little spaces to go in, and I had to dump a bunch of wood chips. So I dumped probably about 5 yards of wood chips out here. Not a lot, but plenty if you're doing it with a shovel and a rake. And dumping all these little piles of wood chips everywhere, and mulch or whatever, you know, if we're trying to take care of our gardens. Don't look at those weeds, I'll deal with those later. Would have taken me hours to do with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. And you see these little spots here where I drove over here dozens of times, and the lawn's still fine. I haven't worn a groove in the lawn, whereas the bigger tractor would have wrecked this lawn the first couple times I drove through it because it's still kind of wet out here. So getting these big steaming piles of wood chips or mulch or whatever out here, weaving in between all these trees and bushes and stuff. That's where this thing really, really shines. And somebody who needs to do that, do landscape maintenance or whatever, that's who this thing's perfect for. Okay, so how'd this thing do? Not too bad. It actually kind of did surprise me a little bit. It certainly felt kind of top heavy at first. That was our concern when the thing first came into the dealership. It's still a concern for me now because there was a lot of weight going on up here and some really itty bitty tires down here. So the thing, you certainly feel every bump that you go over. I ran it up and down some hills after I got comfortable with it. Going uphill and downhill straight, no big deal on a hill that could be uncomfortable. Going sideways on. I didn't go sideways with this tractor. Side hilling in tractors is really dangerous. Definitely didn't want to do it with this one. My suggestion, if you got one of these tractors, you definitely need weight in the rear tires. This came factory with a rear weight kit on it. We took the weights off so we could put some beet juice in the tires, some rim guard to give it extra weight. And we weren't able to put the weights back on with the new valve stem that we put in order to have rim guard in this thing. So we're still sorting that out. But I would say you would certainly want to have as much weight on the rear end as possible, maybe something hanging off the back, and you'll feel a lot more secure. But other than that, I kind of got used to this thing. You know, it bumped me around a lot. I felt every bump out in our yard, but overall it wasn't too terrible. So what about the operator experience? This is a small tractor. I'm not a small man. I'm about 6 foot. We're going to call it 6'1". I'm at about 240 pounds. I'm not 250, I'm 240. I've got shorter legs, but a longer torso. Kind of a Barney Rubble, I'd say. Getting in and out of this thing wasn't bad at all. A lot of people on subcompact tractors, you got to contort your body. I did find I'd have to kind of work one of my legs around the steering column, but it does have a tilt steering wheel, which is nice. So ingress and egress, not bad at all. You can come in from either side, which is nice. The dog even tried to get in there with me. Not quite enough room for me and a 80-pound Rottenwilder, but she tried. Come on, you big old Rottenwilder, let's go. Let's go for a ride. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go, you little Rottweiler. Yeah, there you go. Go, boy. You can't fit. I'm sorry. You're just too big to fit in here with me. But you're trying. You're trying really good. Here, do you want me to open that door so you can get out? There you go. Easy ingress and egress. That's French for getting out. As far as visibility goes, this thing has incredible visibility, and you have a little touch screen right next to you. And that screen, we'll talk about it in a sec, has a rear camera. You can put a front camera on it. Has a lot of options. I didn't get too far into the touch screeny stuff, but it's a cool little gadget. I really like having a rear camera though, because if you ever want to know where your dog or your toddler is, they're behind your tractor. And if you go from forward to reverse real fast, they'll be under your tractor. It's a tragedy that happens all the time. I love that there's a reverse camera on this thing that's always on. It's always on if you want. You can just have it sitting next to you and you can see what's going on down there. So I really liked that camera functionality. Comfort while operating it. Of course, we're bouncing around a lot. It has an air ride seat. That was pretty good. There's a lot of room to move your arms and elbows. I never bumped my head. It's a very big cabin on the inside. I was pretty surprised by how roomy it was. There's only one time when I whacked my elbow into one of the doors or something, but not too bad. The one thing I don't like as far as operator comfort goes, because I could reach the hydrostatic pedals easy, all the buttons were easy to find, all the controls are easy to use, was where that loader control is. I'll just kind of, that's a horse I would beat again and again. A dead horse I'd beat again and again, is that the loader control puts your elbow right over top of your 3-point lift. I've seen this on a lot of tractors. I don't know how they think we operate tractors. You don't have your arm straight out. You have your arm at rest when you're doing repetitive loader work, which is what we did with this thing. And just to kind of touch again on some user stuff on the inside of this, really cool screen on it. I have a hard time getting videos of these screens because there's all this glare. A lot of information on it. A couple things that I wish they would improve for operators. It'll tell you when you're in neutral, that's nice, but it doesn't tell you if you're in low range or high. And for the most part, you're going to operate this thing in low range. It also doesn't tell you when you're in 4-wheel drive. So if you forget, you got to just kind of feel if you're in 4-wheel drive. There's a temperature gauge on there that I think is supposed to show you the outside temperature. It doesn't work. It says it's 75 degrees. It is not 75 degrees out here, believe me. It's around 60. Maybe it was saying the inside temperature inside the cab, but why do I care what the temp is inside the cab? Maybe there's a setting I could change. I don't know. I didn't find it. And then finally on the tachometer, is that what the RPM gauge is called? There was no spot indicating where your 540 is. So if we're running the PTO on this thing, there's a gauge on there that says what your RPMs are for your rear PTO and your mid, which is really cool. But I don't know what RPMs my mid PTO is supposed to spin at. Just give me a dummy thing there that says this is where you run your stuff. It turns out it's about 3,000 RPMs. So you can raise your RPMs until your rear PTO says it's at 540, and then we're good to go. Mid, I don't know what mid PTOs are supposed to spin at. So it'd be nice if they had like a little dummy arrow there saying, hey, put your RPMs here. But 3,000 RPMs is where this thing runs its PTO at. And it turns out 3,000 RPMs is where this tractor loves to be operated. And that's something I do want to talk about. Operating the tractor. How did it work? So out here I was doing a lot of loader work with this loader. This loader seems pretty robust. I never saw any bends or movements with it. It stayed very steady. It lifts pretty high. There is a thing so you can put a bucket hook on here. That's in my other video. Mirrors don't stick out too far, so I didn't snag on any obstructions. But overall, this thing did a wonderful job. I ran this thing with the AC on full blast and didn't feel like I lost any power, which would be a concern with a machine like this. With only 25 horsepower, you'd think you'd have a lot of parasitic power loss. I didn't notice any difference running it with or without the AC as far as power went. It felt plenty powerful enough. That being said, high range I couldn't really use out here. It would always bog down, even with the RPMs up around 3,000. So I operated in low range at all times. Getting in and out of 4-wheel drive, very easy. The rear differential locks in easy as well, so that's pretty nice. Operating the loader, we can do 2 functions at once on the loader, but it's a little iffy on it. You've got to really feel how to get in there. So we're going to pay attention to this loader stick. Well, I really hate the location of this lift and lower for the 3-point arms. It's just in a terrible location. Oh well. So I'm going to put down the armrest, see if that helps. So I'm going to try to lift and curl at the same time. So we got to kind of hold this thing at an angle. Well, I'm curling, but I'm not lifting. Let's put the RPMs up. How about lift and curl? Yeah, I didn't quite fool it into doing it. Let's try dump. Oh, there we go. I can dump while turning the bucket down. So let's get the bucket kind of flat. Let's try to do a lift and dump. There, oh, I almost got it. Okay, it's touchy, but it is doable. Yeah, see, I can go down and curl at the same time, easy. But I want to go up while I'm dumping. So we're trying to feather out some material out of the bucket. There we go, I got it. Okay, so yeah, we can do 2 functions at once. Can I lower while dumping? Oh yeah, that's easy. Yeah, lift and curl though, that's the one that's for whatever reason kind of tricky. I guess you just got to kind of find that sweet spot. You want to lift first and then start your curl. All right. The speakers in this thing are trash. They're terrible. I did like listening to my phone music with Bluetooth things. Who would this tractor not be good for? I don't think this tractor would be good for somebody over a few acres. You know, if you've got 5 or 10 acres, you could probably get away with it. Much more than that, I think the tractor would struggle to keep up with the chores you're probably going to need to do. If you have a new piece of land that you're developing, this is probably not the right tractor for it. I know a lot of people will find the least expensive tractor they can to do the tasks that they want to do, and it comes back to bite them in the butt. You're probably going to need more capacity than this tractor will give you to go out and develop a whole piece of property. You could do it, it'll just take forever. It'll be like using a wheelbarrow to move a bunch of wood chips instead of using a tractor. You'd be kind of going back to that, if that makes sense. So it's not great for going out and developing a whole property. If you've got a lot of hills that you have to do some funny things on, as it sits from the factory, probably not great. It would be nice if there was a wheel spacer on this, widening out the wheels. But it is what it is. It's supposed to be a tight, small, compact tractor. But overall, for smaller property, somebody doing landscape maintenance, you know, you've already developed your place, this is a great tractor. You need to fit in and out of greenhouses. This thing would almost fit into our high tunnel greenhouse. I think if I had the door rolled up a little more, I could have got in there. That'd be neat. People with really tight spaces are working within. If you're a smaller sized flower farmer, for example, this is an awesome machine for that. You can get between these tight little rows. You could run a rototiller. You can move material with the bucket. This is, I think, really great for very small scale farming, which is popular out here. People doing little organic farms, little hobby farms, maybe roadside stands, and you need a tractor just to help you do your jobs. This may be a good tractor for that. Again, on a smaller property, not for farming 1,000 acres or 500 acres or 100 acres even. You know, farming a couple acres, this could certainly be a great tool for that. You could get in and out of barns if we're scooping manure, dealing with livestock. So I think there's a lot of great uses for this. And having the cab is awesome. Not getting rained on, not being in the snow, not being in the heat, just being able to be in the cab, rocking out to your music, getting your tasks done for the day. This thing, people always throw around the term game changer, but it kind of is, because rain, sun, sleet, hail, whatever, you have a controlled environment. You can get out and get your jobs done and not feel like you're going to be miserable all day doing it. I could have stayed and worked on this thing for another full day and felt great by the time I was done with it. So that's all I know. I don't know. Put something in the comments. What just happened? I've destroyed my $1 million camera rig.